Hey everyone, this is Friedel Hakureja Raven. I'm here with my recap and review of Boruto anime episode number 230, which is titled A Wish. And this episode picks up from where the previous episode left off, with Chocho getting injured and Shikadai having to stay back in order to bring Chocho back to the village. However, Kawaki is like, you know what, I'm not abandoning this mission. I'm going to help Mozuku retrieve. Retrieve the cure that Kurobane stole. So, Shikadai, even if you ordered me to go, I'm not going to listen to your order and I'm just going to go. And yeah, the episode opens up with Kawaki and Mozuku going after Kurobane. And as these two are running, this is where we get to see them bond further. I actually like the fact I actually liked how the writers ended up handling Mozuku bonding with Kawaki. And even though Mozuku is basically a stranger, I think that Kawaki can really feel what he wants to do and why he is fighting for his entire nation, even if it costs him his life, which it does. I wasn't expecting, yeah, I wasn't expecting Mozuku dying. Like that really took me by surprise, but it happened. It happened, and we'll talk about it later on in this episode. So as these two are running, Mozuku is like the person that we're going after, Kurobane. He's part of the feudal lord's Anbu team. He is a very, very powerful ninja, so we have to be careful. And Mozuku also apologizes to Kawaki for leaving his teammates back there. And Kawaki is like, "Hey, don't worry, those weren't my teammates to begin with." And I'm like, "Oh, Kawaki." But yeah, as these two are running, we get to see Shikata and Chocho trying to make it to the village, and yeah, Chocho's injury is quite serious. She's at her limit, and Shikata is actually very worried about whether or not he's even going to be able to bring her back to the village. And I'm like, you know what? That's why you need a medical ninja on the team. So we get the opening sequence, and then the episode switches to Naruto, and Konohamaru comes in, and he tells Naruto that it turns out that the six people that were mysteriously attacked in different regions, they were from the land of the calm seas. And Naruto's like, wait. So isn't Mozuku from that land as well? And isn't Shikadai's team escorting him? And Shikamaru's like, yep, you're right. And Naruto's like, you know what? So maybe all of these deaths are connected, and whoever ended up killing those six people from the land of the calm seas, Mozuku might be up next. He might be the next target. So Naruto is like, you know what? We need to send reinforcements after Shikadai's team, and he's like, Boruto and his team are actually handling a mission right now near the outskirts of the village, so might as well ask Naruto to go as a reinforcement. So we get to see that Kawaki ended up handling the mission on his own, and yeah, Naruto's message is delivered to him by a ninja. And I was like, shouldn't they be sending like a messenger hawk or something? But no, it's a ninja, and he's like, we got orders from the Hokage that your team needs to go after Shikadai's team as reinforcements. And Mitsuki is like, oh, okay. So it turns out that Boruto's intuition was correct, because in the previous episode, Boruto and Salad and Mitsuki noticed these two strange ninjas running, and they caught Boruto's attention, and I guess Boruto decided to go after them because of a hunch, and his hunch played out, and Mitsuki is actually quite impressed by it. So because Salad and Boruto were already after the ninjas, they are able to meet up with Shikadai sooner than expected. And yeah, Chocho isn't doing well, and Salad is like, you know what, I'll bring Chocho back to the village. Boruto, Shikadai, you go after Kawaki and Mozuku and help them. And they're like, yep, let's do that. So we get to see Kawaki and Mozuku reach Kurobane, and Kurobane is like, okay, so you ended up defeating my partner, huh? But I won't be the one going down so easily. And Mozuku is like, why are you doing this? You are from the land of the calm seas as well. Our people are the ones who are getting sick and dying. Why won't you allow me to take the cure to them in order to relieve them from their suffering? And Kurobane is like, you know what? Not everyone is suffering. The rich people aren't suffering. It's only the poor people like you that are suffering, and I don't really care about that. Now, the dialogue that was given to Kurobane, it felt very real. It felt very, very real if you also connect it to what actually happens around the world. So yeah, it's time for them to fight. And it turns out that Kurobane has some annoyingly dangerous techniques. Now his first technique is basically something called, if I remember correctly, something called Water Art Infinite Watchtower or something, in which he ends up encompassing an area in this very thick fog, and his opponents can't necessarily see through it. And in that fog, he's going to produce a whole lot of clones. Now, these clones aren't actual clones. You can't hit them and they'll like disappear with a poof. They're basically illusions, I guess, in order to keep the people distracted. And Kawaki is like, you know what, I'm just going to try and take these clones down. He tries to attack them by shooting sharpenal or spikes from his scientifically enhanced body. It doesn't work because, again, these aren't real ninja. These are more or less illusions, and the projectiles just phase through them. And this is also where Mozuku is like, wait, why am I getting thirsty all of a sudden? What is happening? And in this shot we get to see that Kawaki's lips. I think I can zoom in, right? Let's see. You can't really see it clearly, but you can actually see that the animation team ended up giving Kawaki some dry lips. So what's happening is that this fog is actually wicking away moisture from the plants, from the trees, and even humans. So in the previous episode, when we saw Kurobane torture that one particular person tied up to the tree, it turns out that he ended up torturing him while also absorbing all of the moisture from his body until only a husk was left. So yeah, this is a very annoying technique that as long as you're stuck in this fog, the moisture is going to be taken away from your body, and slowly but surely you are going to die. And Kawaki is like, yup, I need to do something about this. However, Kurobane has another technique. While his opponents are stuck in the fog, he actually attacks them with a large spike, a blade. Okay, why am I not able to go forward? Let's see. Okay, now it worked. So yeah, he's actually also attacking them with a huge spike, and Kawaki tries to block it. And the spike is powerful enough to break through Kawaki's enlarged arm. And Kawaki needs to figure out something because they are running out of moisture. He's like, you know what? I have to do something. And the fact that he is able to move this blade in a manner, because the blade can go right, left, up, down, anywhere he wants, it means that the real Kurobane is hiding somewhere, and he's controlling blah, blah. He's controlling the blade while he's hiding. So Kawaki ends up climbing a tree, and he uses a fireball jutsu in order to push away some of the fog. And then they notice the same blood-soaked threads that they also saw in the previous episode. So it turns out that while he's hiding, Kurobane is actually controlling the blade with these blood-soaked threads, and basically like a puppet, and that's how he's able to make the blade go anywhere he wants. But now that Kawaki knows where Kurobane is, Kawaki is able to take down Kurobane with a single hit, because again, even though Kawaki has a lot to learn when it comes to how a ninja thinks, he does have the skills and the power to be a threat for a whole lot of people. So Kurobane is down, and Kawaki goes to pick up the cure. However, as he's about to do that, Kurobane is still controlling the blade, and he ends up making the blade come towards Kawaki. And this is where Mozuku comes in between them. And yeah, Mozuku gets hit by the blade, and there's a huge slash all the way from his shoulder to his stomach. And yeah, I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't expecting this at all. Mozuku dying, that was a it was a very surprising creative decision considering what the writers did. And Kawaki, yeah, he can't understand what just happened. He's like, Mozuku, why the heck would you do that? Why would you sacrifice yourself to save me? And Mozuku is like, because I believe in you, Kawaki. I know that you will be able to take the cure to my land, and you'll be able to save my people even if I'm not around. So please take this cure to my sensei. And while that's happening, Kurobane decides to make the blade go towards Kawaki, and this is where Bruto comes in with a Rasengan, and he's able to break the blade. Shikadai ends up immobilizing Kurobane, and this is where Kawaki, because of what Kurobane did to Mozuku, he ends up hitting Kurobane quite hard. At first I was like, wait, is Kawaki going to try and kill Kurobane, and Bruto and Shikadai will need to step in? But no, he was able to restrain restrain himself, which is character development. The fact that Kawaki was able to restrain himself, kudos to you, Kawaki, that you have grown as a character. So we get an emotional scene between Mozuku and Kawaki, and Mozuku is like, "Is this payment enough, Kawaki? Please take the cure to my people, to my sensei, and I believe in you, Kawaki." And yeah, all of this is very very new for Kawaki because of his childhood. He doesn't necessarily know what it means to sacrifice yourself for the greater good, to sacrifice yourself for other people, to sacrifice yourself for the good of the nation. Those are foreign ideas for Kawaki, and it's going to take time for him to really really understand that. Because if you guys remember, like an episode before, like 2 episodes ago, when he was talking to Salad, he told Salad that he doesn't necessarily know what home is. He hasn't necessarily found a place that he can call home enough to to do everything in his power to protect that particular home. So yeah, I think in this anime we are going to see him come to that realization that he'll put his life on the line to protect Konoha. So yeah, after Muzuku is dead, Kawaki picks up the cure, and yeah, Shikadai is like, "Kawaki, where are you going?" Kawaki is like, "I'm going to complete this mission, even though Muzuku is dead. I'm not going to allow you to stop me, Shikadai. I have to go." And Shikadai is like, "Kawaki, I understand where you're coming from. Bruto and I will go with you." So all three boys, they go towards the land of the calm seas, and as they're on their way, even more ninjas attack them, and Shikadai and Bruto are like, "You know what, Kawaki, we'll handle these ninjas. You go." So Kawaki goes and he ends up meeting Mozuku's sensei, and Mozuku is like, "Who are you?" And Kawaki is like, "Mozuku sent me, here's the cure." But before he could hand over the cure, one of the ninjas, he ends up taking the sensei hostage because he's like, "You know what, I knew that you were going to arrive at this checkpoint, so I waited for the cure to arrive here, so hand over the cure, or else I'll kill the sensei." And Kwaki's like, I'm not going to let you do that. So he is able to make quick work of the ninja, and he is able to save the sensei's life, and he hands the cure over to sensei. And this is where we talk a bit about Mozuku and what Mozuku sacrificed in order to protect his land and his people. And this is where Kawaki is also like, "We left Mozuku's dead body in the forest near the tree, so please go get it." And the sensei is like, "Yeah, I'll do that. I'll give Mozuku a proper burial." So Boruto and Shikadai arrive as well, and Kawaki is like, "Well, we have to go before someone sees us." And as they're walking, Kawaki feels guilty about over Mozuku's death. He's like, "Shikadai, if I had listened to you, if I had followed your orders, Mozuku would have been alive right now." And Shikadai is like, "You know what? Don't beat yourself over it. You did what you had to do. You did the right thing, and it's just something that you'll have to live with now." And yeah, I really like this scene where it's raining. And Kawaki is feeling very bad about what just happened, and Mozuku's death took an emotional toll on Kawaki, and the emotional toll was so severe that Kawaki just faints. He just faints. So it turns out that Boruto and Shikadai were able to carry Kawaki's unconscious body to the village. He's healing up. He needs like what, 1 or 2 days of rest in order to properly heal. Chochu is doing well as well. So Boruto is reporting is delivering his report about the mission to Naruto, and he's like, "Okay, Dad. So we were able to bring the cure to the land of the calm seas, but what are we supposed to do about the feudal lord? We can't just allow him to continue treating his people like this, right?" And Naruto is like, "Boruto, we can't really do anything because we can't forcefully involve ourselves in what happens politically in other lands. However, we are going to try and help those people. We are going to send a team from our medical unit in order to see how they can offer some aid." And I really liked how the writers handled the political stuff, because you can't just go and try to change what happens in other lands. There is a lot of political play in the Naruto and the Boruto franchise, so I liked seeing a bit of that in this episode. Naruto is just going to try and help the way he can, without overstepping certain political boundaries. So Salad goes and meet up with Chocho, and Chocho is eating. She's having fun. She's healing, and she's like, "You know what? Maybe Kawaki will heal you, and maybe he'll be able to heal his foul mouth of his in order, and then he'll become even more handsome." I'm like, "Oh, Chocho." So Mitsuki and Bruto ended up going to meet with Kawaki, who is in the hospital, and they brought his favorite snack. And yeah, Kawaki is still sad about what happened with Mozuku, and Naruto and Mitsuki noticed that. And after they walk out of his room, this is where Mitsuki is like, maybe Kawaki doesn't have it in him to become a ninja, because I know that bad things happen during the mission, but he is yeah, he's allowing it to take over his emotional well-being, and that's not how a ninja is supposed to operate. And Bruto's like, you know what, Mitsuki, I'm not really sure what's going to happen to Kawaki and whether or not he'll be a ninja. So it turns out that Kawaki decides to walk out of the hospital. He's not going to wait there for another day or two. So as he's walking away, Shikadai is actually waiting for him, and Shikadai is like, "Hey, Kawaki, uh, are you free? Will you hang out with me? I need to show you something." And Kawaki is like, "Okay, Shikadai, let's go." So Shikadai ends up taking him to to the graveyard, the cemetery, where all of the people that died during the Great Four Ninja War, the Fourth Great Ninja War, are buried. And this is where Shikadai ends up sharing a bit of his past with Kawaki, and he takes Kawaki to his grandfather's grave, and how his grandfather and a whole lot of shinobi ended up sacrificing their life for to protect the village, to protect the world, similar to how Mozuku did it. And Shikadai is like, but that's just the life of a ninja, and people will die. We will end up experiencing very difficult situations during missions, but because of the fact that we are still alive, the only option we really have is to just move forward, Kawaki. So yes, you are hurt by the fact that Mozuku died, but you can't let that stop you from developing, from moving forward. So accept it, make it a part of your life, and move forward. So Shikadai decides to just leave Kawaki there, so that Kawaki just think about what he needs to do next. And yeah, I was like, you know what, this episode did a lot in order to give more wind to the sails of the Shikadai and Kawaki ship. But yeah, let's see where that goes, as far as some people in the fandom are concerned. So we get to see Kawaki. He's on top of the Hokage office, and Naruto walks in, and Kawaki is like, "Yeah, after that mission, I know that I messed up, but I want to become a ninja." And I think that this is the first time we actually see Kawaki being determined to become a ninja. He's interested in becoming a ninja, and he's like, "Even if I fail this mission, which I know I did, please give me another chance. This can't be the last test, because I want to become a ninja." And Naruto's like, you know what, Kawaki, you don't have to worry about anything, because there won't be another test. Because after what Shikadai told me, we are giving you a rank of a genin. And because according to Shikadai, even though you didn't necessarily listen to his orders, you still had the skills, and you still had something inside of you that allowed you to complete the mission. And that's important. That's important for a shinobi. And Naruto is like, you know what, from now on, Kawaki, you're going to accompany me on missions. And I'm like, yeah, I'm interested in seeing how that pans out. And as Naruto is walking away, Kawaki is like, Naruto, I want to ask you a question. Please tell me what it means to become a shinobi. And Naruto is like, you know what, Kawaki, that's something you'll have to figure out on your own. Because again, as far as Naruto is concerned, every person needs to figure out their ninja way on their own. So it will be very interesting to see what kind of journey the writers put Kawaki through in order to figure out his own ninja way. So yeah, I guess Kawaki is a Ganon for now. And according to the preview of the next episode, which will air the week after the next, because next week we aren't going to get an episode. Kawaki will be accompanying Wasabi's team. So yeah, I'm interested in seeing what happens. If I end up doing a written review of this for the Geekery, the link to the review will be down in the comment section below as soon as the review is published. I enjoyed this episode. I think that this episode was necessary in order to kind of show Kawaki that a whole lot of people are willing to die for other people, and they're willing to die to protect their land. And that's just something that he'll have to figure out on his own when it comes to whether or not he's willing to put his life on the line to protect the Hidden Leaf Village. Like, we know that he's willing to put his life on the line to protect Naruto, but what about the village as a whole? What about other people? Is he ready to put his life, to sacrifice his life to protect them? I guess time will tell. But yeah, let me know what you thought of the episode down in the comment section below. And until next time, stay happy, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you guys later.